rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Welcome. Yes, I was running late this morning, but that's how it goes. It's good to see you all. Well, I will probably be running a little bit late on everything today. That's usually a good sign, because if I'm running late, then I know that at some point in time it'll all line it up and I'll be on time, because I'm usually early. That's what happens. So running late is a good thing. It just means my clock is aligning. Mm, 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 mm. What a day it's going to be. Well, and the good thing is whenever I end today, I'll be just setting you guys right straight over into Mo in the deep end while she's covering the Karen Reed stuff. So that's always a good thing. That's always a very good thing. Good to see you, Tammy. Good to see you, Lorianne. Stormy, how you doing? Carola? Is that right? Carola. That is such a cool name. Man, I love it. Buck Naked, good to see you. My favorites, good to see you. And if anybody, Nancy, good morning. I'm just making sure I got everybody here. Starzy, yeah. Last night was a blast. Oh man, I would have kept going, but I knew we have a new member. Who's the new member? Welcome. I'm scrolling back up through. It keeps jumping on me. Joyce Burnt, there we go, right there.
Welcome to the show. Every single day.
Good morning, Joyce.
A new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid predicaments, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. We'll it all over again.
Oh, welcome, Joyce. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Teresa Chapman, how's you doing? Good morning from upstate New York. Awesome. I hope that you're getting some good weather. We had some crazy weather over the past few days. Yeah. At least we don't. Now I'll be singing that song all day again. That's good. That's good. You do want to be singing something happy all day long. Well, at least it won't be all day because I do have another one that members onlys have been able to see. Um, Also, just so you guys know, I did change distributors. So my music is being distributed just through somebody else. So what you'll see on my channel is you will see these songs there. You'll see entire albums that have got no views whatsoever. Like nobody's viewed any of that music yet at all. It's pretty interesting. And I'll show you what I mean because whenever I looked at it, I was just like, wait a minute, I've got like entire views on these out. Like people have actually pulled these up and viewed them. And it was because they get re-released under a new album. And I'll show you real quick because it's pretty interesting. Like there and this way you can sort of see what I've got up here. It's hilarious. I was surprised that every single one of these new albums I've got have like very, very little views. Let me see. Present, where is it? Ah, right here. Yeah, so if you look right here, see all of these right here, Morning Whiz and Coffee, that's only got 6 views on it. That one's got no views. All of my music has had like very little views on it. Like every single one of them. Undercover Dance, no views. Through the Stars has finally gotten some stuff on there, but like I was looking at it, I was like, holy cow. Like all of my old videos, all the views are gone from them. Isn't that crazy? Like I'm just looking at them going, this is the craziest thing. So this is what happens whenever you upload these new things. I mean, like I said, I've got entire albums right here. Like this one here. Like if you look, like each one of these has, I mean, this one because it's one of my videos that's been on here forever. It doesn't have any problems with it, but the rest of them, look, 6 views. And some of these have gotten like 1 view, no views. Sunday Spicer, Summer Breeze Love Song. Like I was going, holy cow. But yeah, all of them are back down to zero views. Like the entire album got like wiped from my views. So you can always pull those up as a playlist, and each one of them is going to be unique. Each one of them is going to be unique. And I mean, it was it was surprising to me. I guess it might take a few days or weeks or something to populate, and it might be because it's under a different thing or something. But the weird part about it, all of changing the distributor on this is whenever I switched over distributor, they they start copyright striking all my streams. I was like, why in the hell are my streams getting struck? I was like, this is ridiculous. And then I realized it was because no, because that's not my song. Shield Maiden, that is not my song. I'm telling you, it's not. That is somebody else entirely. I've been thinking about remaking it, and that way I can still give somebody credit for it and everything. But no, that's not my song to do. Um, I would have to pay that person for that a lot of money, and I'm not doing that. But yeah, it's one of those where I was just amazed that how easy it was because and I have until like the end of the month to have all of it transferred over. But yeah, all the copyright strikes started rolling in. Like the past 5 days were just like copyright strike, copyright strike, copyright strike. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Got to stop. So I had to put a stop on those to get him to fix it. Ugh. Third world problems. Gotta love it. No big deal. Oh, so what the hell's myself? Oh, excellent, excellent. And we got Tammy that also has become a new YouTube bumper. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. 'Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. We'll it all over again.
Well, and that's amazing. Only 9:20 to go. Wow, you guys notice more than me. I haven't really looked. Well, the good thing about that is my goal has been for the end of the year to hit 10K. So if I hit that this year, then I'll have to do something really special, and then I have to set like a higher goal because, doggone it, I thought that was going to be high enough. I've been just having too much fun. The song is stuck in my head. I can get all kinds of songs stuck in people's heads. I've got like a whole playlist that I try to keep them lighthearted and fun. So they're out there. They're out there. I'm working on a whole bunch of new stuff, and there will be a new release that comes out today. And that's just the video. I haven't finished up the album on it yet. And I'm working on that. So whenever that comes along, you're gonna find a whole mess of new music that you haven't heard before. I got some pretty good stuff. I've been thinking about doing a little bit of just a straight up jazz album. Like just not straight out jazz, but just a little something special like that. Let me get this thing up for you. We'll get to the news because I don't know if you guys had heard this, but Trump shocks the world again. He's done it again. That much is clear. He outmaneuvered and outthought everyone else and did what many others assumed to be impossible. What exactly has he done? On Wednesday morning, during his trip to Saudi Arabia, Trump met with the Syrian president Ahmed al-Shara, I'm maybe saying that wrong, who from 2017 until January of this year was known as Abu Muhammad al-Giuliani. Al-Shahara is the leader of the I'm not even going to say this right, HTS, the Syrian Liberation Group, the Sunni jihad group that had been linked to al-Qaeda and was working to overthrow the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad. In January of 2025, HTS finally attained its goal. Assad fled to Russia. Al-Giuliani took control in Damascus and announced that he was establishing a regime that would respect the rights of all Syrians. He insisted that he had broken with the al-Qaeda years before, and to signify that he was a new man, he shed his Nam de Guerre and reverted to his birth name. He trimmed his beard, took off his fatigues, and donned a suit. Yet almost immediately, al-Shara's attempt to construct a new image for himself foundered upon harsh reality. His forces were involved in mass deletings of members of the Alawite sect. Since Bashar Assad is an Alawite, the sect was associated with the old regime. As recently as March 7th, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared that al-Shahar was behind it. Al-Giuliani took off his whatever, put on a suit, and presented a moderate facade. Now he has removed the mask, revealing his true face, a jihadist terrorist from the al-Qaeda school committing atrocities against the Alawite civil population. Al-Shahar, however, condemned the killings and vowed to punish those responsible, even if they were his own men, saying Sharia is the state of law. The law will take its course on all. We fought to defend the oppressed, and we won't accept that any bloodshed be shed unjustly or goes without punishment or accountability, even among those closest to us. How, since al-Shara is he still a jihadist practicing Mohammed dictum, war is deceit, or does he genuinely wish to establish a regime in Syria that will ensure the rights of all people? Donald Trump is giving him a chance to put up or shut up. Trump made it clear throughout the 24 presidential campaign he was determined to end the cycle of endless wars and establish a new era of peace. He repeatedly made it clear that this would involve challenging what foreign policy establishment has long held to be unquestionable truths and finding new ways to reach accords with previously hostile entities based on common interests. In many ways, Trump's meeting with al-Shara is a momentous, and it could be more momentous than his first term overtures to Kim Jong-un. The two meetings come from the same well springs. Trump is attempting to break the long-standing log jams and end the status quo that the foreign policy establishment, both inside the U.S. and elsewhere, had come to take for granted. NBC News reported Wednesday that Trump announced we are currently exploring normalizing relations with Syria's new government. As you know, beginning with my meeting with President Ahmad al-Shara, he is not proceeding without asking certain things of al-Shara as well. NBC reported that he encouraged the Syrian president Ahmad al-Shara to recognize Israel's statehood. Trump explained to al-Shara that it had a tremendous opportunity to do something historic in his country. The president urged the Syrian leader to sign on to the Abraham Accords. He also advised Shahara to tell foreign terrorists to leave Syria, deport Palestinian terrorists, help the U.S. prevent the resurgence of the Islamic State, and assume responsibility for the Islamic State detention centers in Syria. Trump declared that he wanted to give Syria a chance to greatness. So Trump wants to make peace with old foes based on mutual economic interests. He's giving al-Shahara a chance to demonstrate what he really is, no longer a jihadi, and wants to build a stable and prosperous Syria. It could happen. The global jihad, although it's ignored everywhere, continues nevertheless. It never goes away. Individuals and states, however, can do to put aside for considerable periods in order to pursue other interests. A reminder of how difficult this will be, however, came in the fact that, as NBC noted, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, something like that, was also present in Turkish President Recep Tayyip. I'm not even going to get these names right. Joined by phone, the presence of Erdogan. Nevertheless. Okay, Trump's attempt to create peace based on common interests and move beyond the present logjam as well as audacious. Once again, Trump appears to be way ahead of everyone else, as he was when he established the Abraham Accords, even as John Kerry was confidently telling the world that such a thing was impossible. The establishment will howl at Trump's meeting, that only to be expected. The president, meanwhile, is moving ahead with astonishing vision, immense confidence, and considerable imagination. The peace and stability of the Middle East and that of the entire world are riding upon his success. Okay, I'm back. You had to take care of some membership for Mo as well. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Miami, how you doing, lady? Oh, that reminds me. Well, I've got all of you guys here. I've got to show it. See, Miami helps remind me of all of these things because I am such a slack ass that I just tend to forget. Do not forget what we have coming up.
Let's get started. Oh, that's real good.
It's awesome. Thank you guys. Yes, I was thinking we should call all greet him HB Tugfather. Oh, it's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, West Alabama, I've got to work in Lake Guntersville Hydro Fest that week. Oof. Ooh, Wes, that should be a blast. Syria's president will act the good guy for a few months, then go right back to unaliving his enemies left and right wholesale. That's a big possibility. We hope that, there is some peace that happens out of all of this. But this came in. This is from Benjamin Barty. He says, a listless, vapid CIA spook, the best Democrats can offer in 2028. Well, proof that Democrats have no principles at all. In fact, don't care about winning elections if it comes at the detriment of the machine the party serves. In case there's ever any doubt, the candidate is currently pushing a full-on Manchurian swamp creature and woke retired CIA spook. Anybody remember Bush, who emerged out of nowhere? Freshman Senator Alyssa Slotkin. She was selected by whoever pulls the levers at the Democrat machine, probably Barack Obama, to deliver a totally lackluster and lame rebuttal to Trump's non-State of the Union speech 2 months ago. It amounted to 11 minutes of vapid babbling that no one will remember except perhaps by pundits for how embarrassing and mediocre her performance was. She's going nowhere. However, there's another set of Democrat candidates who, no matter what you think about them, are doing serious numbers, even in places one might not expect. If the Democrats in a wild hypothetical alternative universe were sincere and smart about winning elections and adhering to principles they profess to deeply believe, and they would dive headfirst into the Bernie AOC narrative, which is that the United States is run by oligarchs who undermine the welfare of the vast majority in order to garner greater wealth and power, concentrated in the tiny pockets of the country, places like the DC suburbs, Manhattan, Martha's Vineyard. America's from coast to coast absolutely reveal the discomfort inflicting on these viewers when Governor DeSantis shipped busloads of migrants to the latter. The residents who feigned deep empathy for migrants promptly flipped their wigs and had the migrants deported to more suitable habitats, meaning not around them, where they might drag the real estate value into the gutter. It was a huge political win, and some might argue a sea change in a way that the public viewed Democrats as their approach to immigration. Yeah, I gotta watch it because it was pretty hilarious.
Save the unicorn for last.
Okay.
Nice job. Can I open your door? So I get a call at around 4 o'clock, and I was like, what? And she said, we have about 50 Venezuelans in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
And why? Like, what do you mean?
Two planes Wednesday take about 50 undocumented migrants, including children, from San Antonio, Texas, to Martha's Vineyard.
Pensando que iban a hacer con nosotros, pues le llegamos fue imprevisto, llegó una persona. Ajá, ¿cuántos son ustedes? No, somos 15. Y cuando le decimos, no, somos 15, viene el otro.
This is hilarious. They didn't know what to do with us when we said we were 15. Another group came behind us. A woman said, oh my God, how many are you in total?
Otro grupo también, y la señora dijo, ay, Dios mío, ¿cuántos son en total?
I saw them walking across from the high school to where the bus stopped. I was confused.
Yeah, she was confused. This is so hilarious. Hey, MG, how you doing, brother? How you doing? It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm so confused. Why are all these illegals in my backyard? How dare they? How dare they show up in my backyard? How dare Ron DeSantis do anything? How dare he? Oh, it was hilarious. I was like, this is so glorious. They aren't migrants, so they weren't going back home at any point. Well, they knew that. But this right here is what broke everybody. Yeah, right here, the turning point in Martha's Vineyard versus DeSantis.
Because I was like, how did you get here? And who sent you here?
Because you've been screaming, all you psychopaths that live in these really, really nice places that have been sitting there going, we don't have a migrant problem. Oh, just let them stay. We should be helping them out, and we should be feeding them. We should be welcoming them into our community until they show up in your community. All the illegals show up, and then you go, I don't know what to do with these people. Oh my gosh, does Martha Vineyards have a Home Depot? Probably not. Probably not. They look like the school of Red Dawn. I bet that made some people nervous. Yeah. It makes them nervous because whenever they only see a certain thing on the news. You know, these people have never been to El Paso and watched people cross across the border on a daily basis in El Paso. You know, and we're just talking about people coming in legally. We're talking about actual migrants. They live in Juarez and they'll cross across the border to work, to come work at the hotels, their motels, do their lawn cutting, do all of the menial jobs that they don't want to do because it's just too much for them. Every day, thousands would come pouring across. Every day, every evening, thousands would go pouring back across into their home country as thousands more are coming across to work the night shifts. This is the way of life there. Now, that was back in the 80s. I don't know what it looks like now. That's probably a little bit stricter and they have more dogs and machines, but it's crazy. Yep, they need to ship a bunch of them to Sausalito too. Yeah, they need to ship them anywhere that these people start screaming, "Oh, they should not be sent back home." It's like, yeah, these are people that cross the border illegally.
So we had mom and dad and kids. They kept saying, "We're
Exactly.
hungry, haven't eaten since breakfast."
Hmm.
This was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They cried. They scared that we're gonna separate them like it's done before. You know, we seen on the news. And I got one of the mom and I said, "Listen, I promise you, we're not gonna take your kids away."
Uh-huh.
It was getting late, and then someone said, "Okay, St. Andrews can host them for the night."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, they put them on buses and shipped them on out the next day.
It's a very small island, 50 people showing up without.
Oh, that's awesome. I've been there. I've been there. One of my friends got married at Martha's Vineyard, and I've been to that place. That is a really cool Airbnb. It really is. They won't run across I-10. You know, crossing signs on the road. There are immigrant crossing signs in El Paso. Yes, there are. And it's a silhouette of a family running. It's hilarious. They cross across I-10. Just ship them to every town named come out. Sarcastic. That's true. No, I've actually stayed at that place. It's a pretty cool place. Here, I'll show you. So right here. There it is. St. Andrew's Parish House is pretty dang awesome. I mean, it looks smaller in this picture than it actually is, but that is a really, really cool place. If you ever get a chance, go check it out because it's pretty damn neat. And if you did a 180 at St. Parish House, hold on a second. If you did a 180 at St. Andrew's Parish House, you'd be looking right across the at the lighthouse. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Small island, 50 people showing up without anywhere to go. You know, you have to marshal a fair amount of local resources to help with that.
Well, imagine that. And this is only like 50 or 60 people. Now imagine 100,000. Imagine over 1 million. You just imagine thousands coming in every day. Every single day, there were thousands coming in.
So I immediately headed there to help out with the people who had landed.
We didn't know the people, we didn't know the situation, and I said to my staff, we're all going to stay awake.
We're all going to stay awake because we don't want to die.
People wanted to help. People wanted to give. People wanted to donate.
By the time I got there, people already had food. I hopped in and started blowing up air mattresses with
Oh, I bet you were blowing up. I mean, blowing.
a bunch of other volunteers.
We will never grasp why these people had to flee their country. Why?
When they had to flee the country. That's the thing. They didn't have to flee their country. And if they're fleeing their country, they're supposed to, according to everything that goes a part of all of this, is they're supposed to stop at the next country that they come to. But instead, they just push them right across. Yeah, they didn't want them in their backyard unless they were pushing.
They were willing to risk life and limb, literally life and limb, to journey across 7 countries.
There you go. 7 countries that they came across to get to the United States. Why? Because Biden opened it up wide. He opened it up wider than AOC's gaping. Never mind.
You know, we had people who need medical attention. We had a guy who got arrested by the cartel in Mexico and had all his teeth broken.
Well, you think. Oh, phew, thank you. I was wiping my brow like a bubble deposition. I know, isn't it weird? Well, there's a few women there. But yeah, mainly just strong fighting age men.
The scene was, let's get the job done. Let's figure this out. Let's solve this issue. Let's
do all this. Oh, she's an immigration lawyer. Oh, we need to take care of them. Yeah. Hating on the oligarchs, right or wrong, the political is gold, but the Democrats won't seriously indulge in the Bernie AOC line of attacks as far as making the platform because they're not smart. They're literally bankrolled by the oligarchs that would never bite the hand that feeds them. They'd rather keep collecting the checks and losing elections than lose the gravy train and maybe win. So you get Alyssa Slotkin, who recently pleaded with the Democrats not to talk about the oligarchy because it's becoming as if she's offering any kind of remotely compelling alternative messaging strategy. Of course, the reason she supports using the term kings as the punching bag instead of the oligarchs is twofold. First, she serves the oligarchs herself, and second, by using kings, she hopes to focus on the ire of the public on one man, Elon Musk, while ignoring the entire swamp apparatus that, again, she has served her entire career. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, speaking of oligarchs, short-sighted, long-winded, and parentally clueless, or the 2025 Dems are impossible to embarrass. It's the how do you put it? The job of conservative opinion types like me to mercilessly mock the unhinged state of American left. As we are all aware, I have plenty of material to work with these days. The situation is classic blessing and a curse. A blessing because work is booming, a curse because it's just sad to think that half of this country is lost like that. I liked it a lot better when Democrats I knew weren't burning bridges to friendships. Alas, I fear those days are gone forever while they constantly blather on about tribalism. American leftists have become the most tribalistic people in the Western Hemisphere. The behavior of Democrats in Congress and their apologists in the mainstream has been nothing short of abominable. Since last November, it's even worse than during President Trump's first term. They are hell-bent on proving that they are always new depths to plumb whenever anyone makes a mistake of thinking that they have bottomed out. It's not surprising that they've gone haywire like this. They all still had Trump on the brain even after they temporarily vanquished him during the Biden years. I believe that was the case because deep down they knew he'd be back, hence the full-on perversion of the American justice system to keep him off the ballot and rhetoric that no doubt inspired the failed assassination attempts. People can change. I'm a big believer in that. However, for that to happen, they need to be aware that a change is necessary and be willing to do something about it. Neither of those are going to happen on the left for a variety of reasons, chief among them being Democrats are incapable of feeling shame. Upper echelon Democrats are publicly embarrassing themselves dozens of times every day. We chronicle most of them here because it's important to point out that the inmates are very much in charge of the asylum over on the Democrat side of the American political aisle. We want to make sure that undecided voters remain aware of it, and if we're lucky, the future will feature honest historians who can see some of us were telling the truth. We're certainly not doing it to change the Dems' behavior, though, or their outlooks, or anything of that sort. For a quick example, let's take a look at the story that Matt wrote on Wednesday about New York Congressman Dan Goldman. Goldman getting his spoiled little rich boy rear end handed to him in a hearing is nothing new. His GOP colleagues and the people he questions in a hostile manner do it almost every time Goldman opens his mouth. In fact, Goldman has pretty much made it a career out of stepping out on rakes whenever he wants to make a point. Well, how does he respond? Unflinchingly repeats the behavior day after day. These kinds of exchanges truly are uncomfortable and irritating to watch for those of us who know how to behave like responsible grown-ups in public. Even the stand-up comic version of a responsible grown-up, we're not exactly known for our emotional maturity. Perspective is everything, though. You'll frequently see headlines in conservative media about one of those damn loons being destroyed or humiliated from our point of view. That's exactly what seems to have happened. From the Dems, it's what loyal members of the Orange Man Bad resistance do. No amount of negative publicity will move the needle in their apparent behavior because they don't think it's negative, any of it. Chuck Schumer could soil himself on camera while ranting about Trump, immediately blame it on Republican lies, and move on as if his pants were still wet. Of course, the flying monkeys in the mainstream media never point out that Dems' childish behavior is wrong, which helps them move on. So he'll keep skewering those bat-you-know-what crazy idiots as long as I even have one person paying attention to me. What I won't do is harbor any illusions about them being embarrassed enough to change their behavior, even slightly. Even slightly. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I just saw this one. This one's gonna be good. The same day a Democrat outs herself as a swinger, the media plays the dumb blonde card on Pam Bondi. We've already written about the ongoing mess with Virginia's GOP, but to be fair, Virginia's Democrats aren't exactly firing all cylinders. One candidate of the House of Delegates just outed herself as being ethically monogamous, i.e. a swinger. Sure hope she lives in a swing district. Oh, that's bad. Thank you. Be sure to tip your waitress. Try the veal. Of course, no one had asked her about her sex life, probably because nobody cares. Nonetheless, Yvonne 47 decided to volunteer the information all on her own. Democrat candidate for Virginia's House of Delegates on the 47th district revealed Saturday on social media that she is married and ethically monogamous, meaning that she and her husband consensually date other couples together. In politics, people love to dig up the unexpected and spin it into a spectacle. The 47-year-old wrote on social media, "I don't do shame, and I sure won't give anyone else opportunity to tell my story." Aurora told HuffPost on Tuesday that while no one was threatening to out her, she believes word of her lifestyle would have gotten out of her inner circle in Stewart, Virginia, her hometown with a population with just over 1,000. The opposite was far more than likely. Had Rohrer simply kept her mouth shut and or bedroom doors shut, the likelihood that this would have been an issue on the campaign trail was practically nil. The district she's running is overwhelmingly conservative. Trump captured nearly 80% of the vote. Rohrer might swing, but her district doesn't. It's MAGA country. Had the issue been raised, the mainstream media would have rallied to her defense. She would have been interviewed on CNN, MSNBC, and Jimmy Kimmel Live and become an instant celebrity. She's a Democrat woman, after all. Had an evil Republican dared attack her, he would have been torn to shreds by the media. Why do you care about her sex life, you sick, twisted pervert? As they did with Trump. The media would have accused Rohrer's opponent of slut-shaming this nice, wholesome, ethically monogamous lady. Getting outed was the best thing that could have happened to her campaign, which is probably why Rohrer opted to make the announcement herself. It's likely led to a slew of new donations. Good writing. Suddenly, even the district that Trump went for by an 80 to 20% margin, she's now has a fighting chance. People know who she is, and if she doesn't win, hey, there's always OnlyFans. But more than anything else, it also highlights the dramatic difference between the media's casual misogyny of Republican women and how they go out of their way to shield and protect Democrat women. Because on the exact same day, Rohrer was lauded as being so brave about her lifestyle in dozens of outlets, including The Independent, and it ran another story about a different female politician, and tonal shift was striking. Here was the headline. Stephen Miller is running the DOJ and Pam Bondi is just a figurehead. Report claims she's like an actor. It's from the story they lifted from the New York Times, and their critique of Attorney General Pam Bondi was so brazenly dismissive, sexist, and condescending. The contrast between her and Rohr was as obvious as an upside-down pineapple. Oh, damn. Attorney General Pam Bondi is said to be acting as figurehead, and the Department of Justice is being run for the West Wing, according to the report by the New York Times. And so you have to remember these people, the way that they report, if it's not monetary donations. Hey, I didn't write this. I'm just reading it, okay? She can get donations however she wants to from whomever she wants to. It's not up to me. No pineapples were harmed in the making of this. Obvious is sorry. So here comes the problem. You'll notice this in certain circles that whenever you see the mainstream media reporting on something, what they'll do is you'll have NBC cite CNN, that cites CNBC, that cites CBS, that cites ABC, that cites the New York Times, that cites NBC. I mean, and it's like this big clusterfuck of people that it's like a circle jerk, and they all they're doing is just basically making the human centipede equivalent of some sort of political statement. Someone comes up with an idea of whatever that story is going to be, and then it spreads like wildfire through the news cycle, but it's just each other repeating each other's talking point. You know, it's like a piece of garbage gets thrown in there, and then it's like this what do you call that, garbage disposal. It just keeps churning inside there like a spoon caught inside of a garbage disposal, making a bunch of noise but doing nothing but just tearing up the garbage disposal. So did Trump hire Bondi because she's highly qualified and impeccably credentialed? Nah, she got the job because she's good looking. Come on, you don't think a woman could really do the job, do you? Obviously, a man was helping her. The president has long been known for this love of hiring people as if you're a casting call, and pays special attention to TV performances, a particular strength of the attorney general. It feels like she's just performing a part, says attorney Elizabeth Oyer, who was fired from the Justice Department. Says of Bondi, she's an actor in a way, an actor. Out of all of Trump's cabinet picks, Bondi was quite possibly the most experienced, battle-tested, and credentialed for her assignment, way more so than many of the men, including Pete Hegseth. She was Florida's attorney general for 8 years. Florida is America's third most populous state. It's enormous. And if you know anything about Florida men, then you don't know AG ain't a dull job. Bondi is exponentially more qualified than RFK Jr.'s pop was when he was nominated by President Kennedy back in '61. Back then, JFK even joked about it, saying, I can't see what's wrong to give Bobby a little legal experience before he goes out to practice law. But Bondi is conventionally attractive. Republican woman. She has blonde hair, blue eyes. She's thin and beautiful. Therefore, the Democrats attack her as unqualified bimbo. It's the same sort of sexist attacks they've been doing for White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt. By any objective standard, Levitt has been an absolute rock star. She's the youngest press secretary in American history, great at her job, smart as a whip, but the liberal misogynist can't see beyond her blonde hair and pretty face. Remember this gem from longtime CNO political commentator Roland Martin? Well, let's just watch, because it's pretty bad. Here we go. Watch right here.
And we have truth on our side at this White House, but I can confirm that the American people won't be hearing from me today. They'll be hearing from the leader of the free world once again. President Trump will be speaking to the press later this afternoon at the White House, and we will have a big infrastructure announcement. This man is already doing more in less than 24 hours than his predecessor did in 4 years. Yesterday's...
Yeah, look at that. She is absolutely cute as a button. It's just cute as a button, and it drives them absolutely up the wall. Yes, it does. You would not believe it. And then, of course, let me see if I can play this here. Oh, God bless America. Let me see if I can get this to work right here. All right. That crashed that thing out. There we go. And then, of course, you got this from Joy Behar, or Blowhard, whatever her name is. Watch this.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Yeah. That's casual misogyny is still the media's go-to protocol when it comes to undercutting the qualifications of conservative women. She's an actor, a bimbo. She was hired for her looks, and all too often the casual misogyny isn't casual at all. It's vicious, vile, and stridently anti-woman. The more conservative she is, the more misogynistic they are. No attack is too cruel or too petty. They swing for the fences. Meanwhile, liberal women just swing, and those same media outlets just can't stop applauding. God, Scott, that was beautiful. That was beautifully put. I can't stand that female. Yeah. Oh, Joy, you're a jealous -5. That's very true. That's very true. I've got to take a quick break. I need to refill my coffee, but I will be back just in a short bit, and just know that I am thinking about you guys while I'm grabbing my coffee.
Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh in funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk in Shizzy when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh in funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, to inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh in funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, to inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we spam the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our own way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Yeah. CNN finds the weirdest way to spin lower egg prices to make Donald Trump look bad. Well, if you don't remember, inflation loomed over Joe Biden's 4 years in office, and grocery prices were particularly monstrous. One particular maker of the impact that Bidenflation had on America's grocery bill was egg prices. According to Trading Economic, egg prices are down 7.3% 0.17 over the past year. In March, egg prices hit an all-time high of 8.17 a dozen. Retail egg prices are a lagging indicator, so the prices you see in the stores are a reflection of the economic conditions from earlier. In other words, March's high prices were indicative of how bad inflation had been under Biden. President Donald Trump had been touting the tumbling price of eggs. The Bureau of Labor Statistic pegs the price drop was a whopping 12.7 between March and April. Of course, this was great news for consumers, especially those who eat a lot of eggs. It's not hard to imagine that the mainstream media would be shouting from the rooftops if such a stunning drop in prices took place when a Democrat was in power. But since Trump is in the White House, media outlets will always look for ways to spin this as a negative. And I'm looking at you, CNN. The once most trusted name in news published a story on Wednesday that covered the lower egg prices. The headline shows how weirdly the network is trying to spin the news to avoid giving Trump administration any credit. In a piece with the bold headline of Trump's egg price fiction has suddenly become reality, reported David Goldman leads the claim that the president has been lying about egg prices going down. What a strange way to report a story. Goldman writes, for months, President Donald Trump has falsely claimed that egg prices are tumbling. It wasn't true then, but it's true now. Egg prices fell 12.7 last month, the biggest monthly decline since 1984, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics reported Tuesday, and they could continue to fall this month, too. The USDA reported last week that a dozen large white eggs now cost $3.30 on average, down a whopping 69 cents from a week before. It's a remarkable reversal after the egg prices surged in each of the past 5 months and 17 of the past 9 months because of deadly avian flu epidemic. That necessitated the mass culling of egg-laying hens. He waits until the 8th paragraph to admit that Trump may have been talking about wholesale egg prices, which began to go down before retail prices did. Wholesale egg prices are a leading indicator again. Goldman even tries to accuse Trump of lying about the percentage decrease of egg prices. Even if he's talking about wholesale prices, Trump has a well-established habit of speaking off the cuff when he doesn't have exact figures at his disposal. He also has a deep-seated gift of hyperbole. Only CNN would take a claim about numbers from Trump so literally. So Trump's claim about the consumer egg prices are down finally true, even if the timing of his claim and the wild percentages he threw around were grossly inaccurate. Goldman concludes his article. If I were being charitable, I would accuse Goldman and CNN of a weird flex, but even I can't be that charitable. It's not hard to figure out that this is yet another example of the mainstream media doing everything it can to make Trump look bad when the news is good. We don't load these people just enough. Buck naked, good to see you. I just won out of my 30-cup pot. It just wore out my 30-cup pot. Oh, now I have to make a couple of pots each day before evening comes. I think I spoke too soon. I have no idea where I'm going. What are sugar-free monsters? Sugar-free monsters? I have no idea. I'm confused about that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I saw this one. I had to laugh. A new beard, same butt gig. I wish I could locate the Twitter wit who said during the Biden administration that good old Pete Buttigieg is so bad at being Secretary of Transportation that people actually know the name of the Secretary of Transportation. That line stuck with me because it's true. And yet here he is again back on the virtual campaign trail with a town hall appearance for his vote vets in Iowa. Nothing seems to stand in the way of this unaccomplished former Indiana mayor taking another stab at his party's presidential nomination. He's so serious about rebranding himself that he's even grown a beard. The beard jokes write themselves, but I'm not here to take cheap shots at Buttigieg. I'm here to take a high-class day to reach cheap shots. Join me, won't you? Buttigieg's first stab at reinvention was dropping all too personal pronouns from his social media bios. And then Christopher Rufo put it, he abandoned ship on the DEI nonsense, admitting that it often amounts to making people sit through training that looks something like out of Portlandia. Now, there's the beard, presumably modeled in the dreamy J.D. Vance, but far less convincing. What are your thoughts on Buttcake's beard? I hadn't seen it. That's so hilarious. Buttcake even joined the Knives Out Club Democrats and infotainment spokesmodels like Jake Tapper, who quite suddenly feel it's safe to present a semi-honest assessment of Joe Biden. When asked at Vote the Vets yesterday whether Joe Biden had hurt the Democrats last year, well, Buttcake said, right now, with the benefit of hindsight, I think it's most people would agree that this is the case. Only Democrats and their media enablers required hindsight to see what was right in front of our eyes for 4 years. But that's the column I've written more times since 2020 that I could count, even with the help of ChatGPT, Albert Einstein, and the count guy from Sesame Street. But Buttcake immediately flipped the script in 2026 and presumably beyond. We're also not in a position to wallow in hindsight. We've got to get ready for some fundamental tests of the future of this country and this party, which some are going to say is on this very year, and some which will come next year. That Buttcake can't even seem to stay away from Iowa, traditional home to the country's first in the nation caucuses, is surely just a coincidence. It seems like it was only last month, Steve. Yeah, I was recommending primal scream therapy over talking about the 2028 already, but today's column isn't really about 2028. It's about how little things like achievement or even basic competence no longer matter when Democrats throw their hat into the presidential ring, and primary voters hardly seem to mind. If you look at Buttcake's record as the mayor of South Bend, you'll find a history of uninspired leadership, neglect of marginalized neighborhoods, and worst of all, ginning up racial tension for political gain. That last point refers to Buttcake's shameful handling of the Eric Logan shooting. He's so beloved in Indiana that now he plies his political wares in Michigan instead. He says something about Buttcake's performance as a medium-sized city mayor when he has to find a whole new state. His time at transportation was spent railing against racial infrastructure instead of getting any built. Buttcake's new beard can't cover up a couple of inconvenient facts. He's both radical and unaccomplished, and somehow, despite all that, people still know the name of the Secretary of Transportation. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm trying to figure out what baked goods to make next. My husband tries to blame this difficulty buttoning his pants on me. I told him it's the beer. He can now drink it being retired. I have my favorites. I have a good one for you. Okay, you ready for this? And it's going to blow your mind. Okay. Are you ready for it? And I told Megan Fox about this yesterday. I was talking to her, and I came across something that's going to make you scratch your head and want to try it at the same time. So you want something new. You want something absolutely new. Well, I've got something. Holy shit. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just saw something and I've got to say something. Dude. Oh, oh, oh no, dude, Larry, uh, oh no, oh, that is ringworm, dude. Oh no, dude, I just saw Larry's post. Oh, dude. Oh no, Larry's got ringworm. That's ringworm. Your cat probably has it too. Oh. Oh, dude, I've got to show you guys this. I just saw this. He's got ringworm. Larry has ringworm. That right there is ringworm. Larry, go get that. Oh, dude, that you just go get some what do you call it? The same stuff you use for yeah, that looks like ringworm. That's exactly what that looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah. Go and get yourself some what do you call it? Foot cream. That's the kind of stuff you use to get rid of athlete's foot. That'll clear right up. Oh, that's ringworm. Oh, you probably got that from your cat, man. Oh, Larry, it's ringworm. It's not fungus. It's ringworm. Oh, did he touch BBB? Yeah, antifungal. Yeah, get some antifungal cream. That'll get rid of the ringworm. Oh yeah. See, and other people are saying the same thing. It's ringworm. Fungus from a tree. Oh, I saw that. I was like, oh no, I had to share that with you. I saw that. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is because I've gotten that before too. Oh, yo, it is a fungus. Well, yeah, but it's ringworm. Hey, yama. Yeah, athlete's foot cream. Yeah, just fungal. That works. Yeah, the foot cream. It works great for that. But okay, it's okay. I'm sorry. Now I made you feel really disgusted, but I do have something to show you. Okay. Now this is going to take a little bit long. Antifungal cream. Poor guy. At least it didn't come from paint chips. So yeah, and you also have to get your cat treated for that also. There was when I worked in a what would you call it? A puppy mill? No, it wasn't a puppy mill. I worked in a pet store at one point in time. Okay, so what my job was, dude, is to come in and take care of all the animals. A lot of times we would get animals that would come in, and they would have to be separated. And one of the reasons why you would separate them was ringworm because they would just pass around to one another. We had this little kitten that whenever it came in, it had ringworm so bad that they had to basically shave this cat down and treat it like on a daily basis. It was so bad, and you couldn't touch the cat without wearing like rubber gloves because you would get ringworm from it. It was that bad on this cat, and I know because that's where I ended up getting ringworm from. Because nobody told me the cat had ringworm. They were just like, yeah, you have to handle this cat with gloves. But this cat wanted attention, so I gave it some attention and ended up with ringworm. Okay, now this cute little kitten, amazing enough, that we had that thing for probably close to a year. I don't think ringworm is a good dessert. It's not. We had this cat for it was almost a year. And one Christmas, and I'm not a big fan of cats. I'll just tell you that right off the bat. I'm not a big fan of cats. They're creepy, but I still like animals. So this poor cat still had most of its hair growing back. Still, it was a little bit splotchy, but the ringworm was gone, and we couldn't put the cat out on display for people to see because, well, the cat looked pretty awful. And someone called me and said, "Hey, my mother is looking for a cat." Or her aunt. It was her aunt. It was my roommate called and said, "My aunt is looking for a cat." And she was just wanting to see what you had up there. It's for her daughter, which is I think 5 at the time. And this little kitten, she was absolutely adorable. At a year, I could put her on my shoulders and walk around with her, and which I would do quite constantly. I would just prop her up there and her legs would be hanging over. And there was this lovebird that we had that liked to get up there and sit on the cat's head and peck on its head, and the cat was just chill. And so this my roommate's aunt comes in, and she goes, okay, my niece told me that you had a cat that was available, and the price on it was really, really low, and it's for my daughter. And whenever she came in, I took the cat off of my shoulders and set it across her daughter's shoulders, and the cat just started purring. That little girl's face lit up like $1 million, and my roommate's aunt ended up taking that cat home with her that day and bought just about anything that I would sell to her. But yeah, that was an adorable cat. I have a mean cat that I used to cat test foster dogs. Foster dogs, yeah. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. All right, now to the food, because this is going to blow your mind. Okay, now I've never heard of this until now, but now I want to try it. This comes from that TikTok guy, that 40-year-old guy. Check this out.
You're telling me for 40 years I could have been using ice cream for what? Ain't no way. All right, so listen. I was at the lawnmower store last year, and one of the guys that works there recognized me, and we were talking, and he said, you should make ice cream bread. And I said, make what? Are you kidding me? Let's do it. All right, now he said to make strawberry ice cream bread, so I got some strawberry ice cream, and I also got some salted brown butter cookie. So first off, I'm gonna throw these in the microwave, get them softened up real good before we mix it up with self-rising flour. We need 2 cups of ice cream.
2 cups.
That's some good ice cream. I'm gonna melt this down a little bit more so it's easy to mix with the flour. And we need 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. Oh well. All right, flour in, and now we mix it. All right, you need an 8x4 bread tin, greased. All right, now put your ice cream mixture in there. Try to level it out a little bit. All right, we set that off to the side. Let's go ahead and make the salted brown butter cookie bread. 2 cups of this ice cream. This is good. Oh yeah. Oh man, that is fire. All right, 1.5 cups of flour. Let's mix this up. All right, grease our pan, ice cream in. All right, now both of these in the oven, 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. One in the top, one in the bottom. We'll be back. While it's cooking, let's clean up our mess. I don't know how I do it or how my wife puts up with me. All right, we just pulled them out of the oven. Perfect. They look and smell amazing. Oh yeah, look at that. This is the strawberry and this is the salted brown butter cookie. Let's put some in our mouth, what do you think? Cut us a piece and we got some Kerrygold butter. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm so excited. All right, we're gonna start with the strawberry ice cream bread. This is what the lawnmower man recommended, so let's go. Oh yeah, oh my goodness. Ice cream bread, strawberry. That is so easy. And my goodness, that is so good. Wow. And now for the salted brown butter cookie. I can't believe it. Oh my. I don't know which one I like better. They're both amazing. I'm gonna open up an ice cream shop, bread store. We're gonna have it all.
It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. See, I hadn't heard of this either. I commented about using ice cream in my coffee. I got a lot of comments. I have coffee with it for total calories for the day. See, yeah. Have I made this? I have not made it, but now I want to. I'm like, this. And MG saying, no way, this is real. Self-rising flour ice cream. It pretty much has everything that you need right there. That's a waste of ice cream. I don't know. See, now I want to try it. I'm like, let me go grab some, something that equals up to about 2 cups of ice cream, pour it into mix it in with so 2 cups of ice cream, 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. You mix it all together. It's got to be a little bit wet, and then you throw it into the oven and cook it at 350 for 30 to 45 minutes or until it's done. I don't know. I'm just thinking it might be a waste of ice cream and flour, but if it turns out good, if I buy ice cream, I won't make it into a bread. I won't bake it into a bread pan. It won't make it to a bread pan. That happens. That's what she said. The lawnmower man, you mean your wife's boyfriend? That's a possibility. That could be what he's talking about. Oh, but whenever I saw that, I was like, man, that can't be real. But now I want to try it. Well, it And I saw, and of course, right underneath that, I see this psychopath, which is hilarious. Check this out.
This video is for the white Afrikaners who are coming to the United States. I think you've already landed here. And I know that some of the folks who met you at the airport told you, welcome, we're so glad you're here. Most of us aren't glad you're here, okay? We don't want you here. We never wanted you here. And furthermore, I noticed they're gonna settle you in Idaho, Ohio, and North Carolina. I will tell you they're not our finest states, so they're a good fit for you. I understand that many of you are farmers, and I've seen a lot of people say, oh, that's great, we need more farmers. Sorry to say we don't. We actually need farm workers because we've deported most of them. So if you can, put your picking hat on and think about, picking produce, that's largely probably what you're going to be doing here because I hear you don't have a lot of skills.
This lady has no idea what she's talking about.
I would also say that you're not going to have to hold just one job, but
Really? She just has no idea, does she? Morning, been lurking, but gotta go to the third world now. Oh, I thought you were saying go to the third world. It's 3D world now. East Texas Cowboy, you have a good one. Good to see you.
probably 2 or 3 to make up for your quality of life that you had back in South Africa. There'll be no servants working for $2 a
She definitely doesn't know what she's talking about. I wouldn't trade my crazy bed life for anything.
day. There's none of that here. So you're the servant who's working for $2 a
No, that's not how it works, you dumbass.
day. So enjoy that. You're gonna have to pay for your health care, and ordinarily, because you're a refugee who's being discriminated against.
No, they're being deleted. That's what's happening in Africa. They're deleting the white people in Africa. If you haven't followed this, then I feel sorry for you. But this lady, of course, doesn't know what she's talking about.
You would go on Medicaid, but guess what? The Republicans.
Speaking of, don't know what they're talking about. We only have one way of showing it is this right here.
You like what you see, baby? Elmo's a man now.
MG.
Well, I'm on a different. I'm gonna just go back out because my little icon's not there. So
okay, all right.
Give me a second.
I'll see you in a bit.
Just cut Medicaid. So I don't think you're going to have that option for healthcare. So maybe you'll do without.
Works.
I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. I did notice that the Episcopalian Church had a program with the government where they would, excuse me, they would resettle and help, refugees resettle. They find you all to be so onerous, they terminated the partnership with the government. And
she's so stupid.
they said, yeah, we won't be resettling those folks. Other things that you need to know about. While we are 58% white here in the
TikTok should be against the law to use for certain people. Exactly.
United States, that's not going to last much longer. Within the next couple of years, we're going to be the minority, which will be fun for you because that's what you're used to. Interestingly enough, we have a ton of Latinos. We're the second largest Spanish speaking country in.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back, brother.
Oh, there we go. Much better. I thought I tried a different browser on my phone, and then I kind of like, well, shit.
That didn't work.
I should have known when I had to type my screen name into the damn backstage thing. I was like, damn it.
It's like, why am I having to do this? Can you believe the gall of this lady?
The self-hatred for her ancestry. It's funny how these people, their families have been in South Africa for 400 or 500 years, yet they're not considered native.
No.
But if we have people who have come across the border, immigrate here illegally and cause problems, you can't dare be against them because then it makes you racist.
Exactly. And
American families. You have some, people whose families here been here for 400 or 500 years. Yeah, they're not native. You're not native.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really? Whites aren't natives anywhere, apparently.
Oh, apparently not. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She's the little artist's wet dream. Yeah.
She thinks these people have no skills. Well, guess what? The white farmers in South Africa are the ones that have basically grown that economy, and they run the farming operation. They're the ones that know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their farming operations account for like 90-something% of all of the crops in South Africa.
Yeah. And they're fleeing because, they're
being killed.
Yeah, they're being killed off. I mean, if
these are true refugees.
Yeah.
Unlike the people coming from Central and South America,
yes.
they're not refugees. They're not asylum seekers. These people are.
Yeah, they're and if you haven't seen the roadside grave signs that just have
I've seen it. They're lining the streets.
And it blows you away just because they truly hate anybody that's white, and they have a hard time understand what it is they're so pissed off because Elon Musk, who basically came from nothing to become one of the, or hell, he might even be the richest man in the world right now.
Yeah, he is.
He's originally from Africa.
He's South African.
Yeah. But he's a naturalized. Is that what
he's
called?
He's an actual African American.
Yeah, he actually is. They were talking about passing a law that the whites couldn't leave because there's a food shortage from so many leaving. No,
exactly.
There's a food shortage from so many being
because they're killing them. Yeah.
I mean,
and you have their politicians out there in packed stadiums saying, "We're going to kill you. We're going to kill your wives, your kids, and your pets."
Yes, we are going to eliminate you, and we're going to take back what we believe is ours.
The thing is they have Zulu heritage. The Zulu people haven't been there nearly as long as the whites from the Dutch that settled down there.
Yeah,
and some of those Dutch were forced to move down there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Zulu haven't been there nearly as long, so they don't even know their own damn history. They're not natives to South Africa.
No. Yeah, because farming is so easy, the non-whites screw it all up and can't farm. No, that's not true. That is not true at all. And I will say that if you start farming and you grow up in that kind of culture and heritage, you learn a lot about it. And this goes for black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Farming is something that you learn over a period of time. It's not something that you go to some ag school to learn. Like true farmers, they know when to plant their crops. It is generational because it's almost like second nature. It's like these kids that are coming up now, how fast they can go on a computer. I mean, they can open up a browser and start going to work, almost writing code at a very young age because it's what they grew up knowing. It's the same way with farming. It's like second nature for them because they're used to getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do chores. They're used to going as the sun's setting, calling all the animals in. They're used to working those long hours throughout the day of plowing the fields, planting the seed, turning the soil. These are things that you learn. And this lady,
they don't need no damn daylight savings time.
Well, and they also don't need to watch YouTube to figure out how to plant goddamn corn.
And they know they have to rotate crops.
Exactly.
To maximize fertility of the soil.
Exactly. Which this lady, more than likely, she can't even keep a fern alive in her backyard.
She's probably never done any sort of manual labor in her entire life.
Well, outside of begging. And it's one of the and I don't know if I said this before, but you've got the cities, these small enclaves of idiots running around handling, walking around on concrete 24/7 that have never stepped a foot outside of their city except to go, oh, isn't this beautiful land? And it's just like you realize that like most of the land that you're seeing is farmland. And it's not like there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people moving there because that's where your food is coming from, you psychopaths. All that food that you're going to the grocery store that you don't realize where does that milk come from? Where does that corn come from? Where does your cornflakes actually come from? Your cornflakes, all that other crap that you're eating, all of that shit is coming from those people that own those big plots of land where they're growing your food. And they never understand. I mean, a perfect example is going to Chicago and someone saying, there's not enough green space and we're all dying and we're destroying the planet. I'm just like, dude, go step the hell out of Chicago. Go drive 50 miles any direction. And you tell me that there's not
they need to go 50 miles to the northeast of Chicago and just jump off the damn boat.
Yeah.
That's where they
exactly.
That's where they need to go. Just go to the damn lake.
The only thing she has,
we're better off without you.
Yeah, all she has is propagated ignorance
in the world. So for you, if you could stop speaking that dirty, guttural, whatever it is, German.
What? Really? Speak Afrikaans?
Yeah. She's saying whatever it is German. No, they're speaking Dutch, you dumb
No, it's
lady.
not German. It's Dutch. It's Afrikaans is what they're speaking.
Yeah. Jeez, what an idiot.
It's a mixture.
German, French.
It's a blend.
But she doesn't like the French either. She doesn't like the Dutch, the French. Although more than likely,
she'll be surprised to know that their national anthem is a mix, is in like 5 different languages.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't know that either.
Well, no.
Dutch.
Idiot.
You speak that Afrikaans. Nobody wants to hear that shit. So you can speak English.
That's awesome. I like hearing
Spanish, which is
you can speak English or you can speak Spanish. No.
Yeah.
Lady, you're an idiot.
Really the second language here.
No, Spanish is not a second language here. There's only one language in the United States, and that happens to be English.
Yeah.
Okay?
And unfortunately, it hasn't been made official yet, but it should have been.
Yes. Wow, she needs some Gorilla Glue as lip gloss.
In terms of other things that you need to know about, the black people in this country, they don't get.
Yeah, the black people in this country would not like to be in Africa. Just so you know, lady, they would not last very long. There's actually a story of a lady that went there and was just like, this sucks so bad. I can't. I'm having a hard time getting food. And they view black people in Africa as still being white. They don't view them any differently.
Yeah.
American
blacks going over there. Yeah.
They do not regard you highly. Just so you know, you do not want to go there and think that you're gonna have an easy life. We speak we speak a nation about been mowing on my reservation and English.
Get fucked with, okay? I know that there's a long legacy of colonialism and all kinds of stuff happening in your country, but are black?
No.
There's a long legacy of colonialism in every culture on the planet. Every nation, every group of people, they've been sold and they've been slaves, they've been colonizers throughout all of human history. That's what people do. We move around, we overtake people, we get overtaken. That's how the world goes.
Yes, it does. Remember that black lady last week that had moved to Africa and was now wanting to come back? Yeah. No, and I say this in all seriousness. If you don't like the country you're in, become an expat. And I'm not talking about these fake expats that have a what do you call that have dual citizenship. I'm talking about if you really hate our country that much, if you think that it's so much better someplace else,
Give up your citizenship and get the fuck out.
Yes, give up your citizenship, go to that country, and make it permanent. And tell me that you didn't have it better here. Until you can do that, until you can give up your citizenship and say, no, I'm done with the United States because it's so much better here and in this other country that you think is so fucking great, then take your ass there. Don't come back, because we don't have any need for you here. You know, we do not want them in Canada. Thanks.
Yeah, I would take, you know, every one of these farmers from South Africa that are fleeing over the millions of, you know, so-called migrants and immigrants that have been coming across our southern border. I would take every one of them. They will be so much more productive. They're most likely not going to be a drain on our resources in society. They're not going to cause problems. You see a big difference in the footage of those coming off the plane from South Africa, and they're within an hour and a half, they're waving American flags, saying how grateful they are to be here. And compared to those coming across waving their, you know, the Colombian or the Nicaraguan flag or El Salvador flag forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been through the fire, if you will, and they're not going to be fucked with. So you're the minority here. Enjoy. I really hope you like your time here. I'm going to bet my
So she's saying she doesn't like minorities, is what she's saying.
ass that you're going to be.
She's a racist.
To SA probably within the next 12 months.
No, they won't. Because if they go back, they'll die.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they go back, they're dead.
But she's more than welcome to take her happy ass there, but she would never do that. Because they would see those glasses and they would probably pound them off her face.
Yeah. More than one way.
Psychopath lady. Oh, so how are you doing today?
I got court today. And I got court tomorrow. Just like,
oh.
I was up kind of late. I streamed until, I don't know, what, 1 or so? Hell, I don't know. I don't know what time it was. Because chat actually, they hit the chat goals a couple of times last night, you know.
Oh, jeez. Well,
I mean, you know, I said, you know, I just said it, you know, I normally do a bigger one. I just said it, you know, kind of, you know, attainable. And so I just, you know, added a few more minutes to the stream here and there. And then I went to find somebody to redirect to, and I saw that Ozzy was streaming. And I was like, oh, we're going to go watch Ozzy. He's doing Karen Reed. And I pulled up the stream before setting the redirect, and it's on his, like, you know, his background is there. And that's it. It's still live. I was like, well, wait a second. Nothing's going on. He's not here. So I go back 5.5 hours to find where he did his outro.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
So I was like, okay, he's done.
So I said, outro and then never shut the stream down.
Yeah, well, he does his driving streams, and so he was on his laptop, and I sent him a message afterwards, like, I just noticed that your driving stream's still going. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. He had closed his laptop when he hit the outro music, closed his laptop, and it glitched. It did not end the stream.
Oh.
And so it just kept going it was almost 6 hours before he finally ended the stream of just nothing. And there were like 7 or 8 people in chat, and they were talking to each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And people come in and say, "Oh, Ozzy's late." And I finally just I put in there. It's like, no, he didn't shut the stream down. So he then shut it down, and within like 30 or 45 minutes, I think within about 30 minutes, his drive home stream was starting. But as soon as he opened his laptop up, went into StreamYard hit the end stream timer, started going.
Oh, geez.
He's like, I didn't even have to choose it; it just did it automatically. So there was some glitch. It was funny.
Geez. Well, let me ask you how you think about old Chuck here.
There are those who believe that we are in real time living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, And they are ruling against Trump time after time after time.
Exactly. Purely political.
Yes.
And they can be removed for not for bad behavior, for not being in good behavior. And you don't need to use impeachment to do it. Start removing their asses. And some of these that are blatantly crossing the line and I would say almost into sedition and treason, start arresting their asses. Go full Abe Lincoln and start arresting them.
Mm-hmm. I've been saying this quite often.
Start with Andrew. Start with Andrew Jackson. Say you made your ruling. No, enforce it. Keep deporting these damn MS-13 and Trinidad terrorists. Ignore those damn. A single district court judge doesn't have the authority to stop you to do it. Send their asses back. Say you've made your decision. Enforce it. What are you going to do? You can't. Are you going to hold the president in contempt? He's not subject to an unlawful, unconstitutional order. You don't have the authority. And in these nationwide injunctions, you don't have authority to do it. Your jurisdiction is your district.
Yeah.
And you don't have authority over national security and immigration policy.
Nope.
Yeah, it's just ignore them.
They've gotten pretty crazy with a lot of the stuff that they've been doing. It's amazing to me that people still to this day have not understood that the things that they're doing is bad. I mean, they're just like, oh no, this is good for the country. It's like, and then once you look at it, you're like, no, this is not working out good.
No, they want a constitutional crisis, and these judges are creating the constitutional crisis. They're acting as Article 2 executives, and they don't have that authority.
Exactly.
Congress has control over immigration, and they've then ceded much of that power to the executive, to Article 2, to the president, and they have severely limited due process. These people aren't entitled to full trials. They're entitled to an immigration judge.
Yes.
And once they've been designated a terrorist group, they don't have to get a damn thing.
Nope.
We round your ass up. All we have to, you can challenge it in a habeas court, in a habeas petition, in the district where you're being detained and held. And all the government has to do is show that you're a member of good reason, just reason to believe you're a member of DDA or that you're at least 14 or 15 years old. And you're not a citizen. That's it. There's 3 criteria.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you to prove it, and you don't have much time to do so. And then once you're out of the country, the judge doesn't have any jurisdiction over you at all.
Well, they're having a hard time moving a lot of these people out of the country. I mean, that's the biggest problem, is just getting them gone because of these judges.
You simply just tell the judge, the president, to just pound sand. Just come out and say, you've made your decision. Enforce it. You're not going to tell me how to run immigration policy when we're dealing with a terrorist. I'm enforcing it. They're out of here. You can go down and try to bring them back.
I'm going to show you something.
And any of these congressmen, you have these congressmen and senators that going down the El Salvador or whatever, their asses should be arrested for violation of the Hatch Act when they get back.
So do you want to see the world's record?
Or the Logan Act.
This is going to be a world record of solving a Rubik's Cube. Okay. And if you blink, you're going to miss it. Okay. World record. That is how fast that they solved a Rubik's Cube. You want to see it again? Here it goes. This is the world's fastest. It has set a new record. Now,
I think they just stopped the camera and put a solved Rubik's Cube in there. Took one out of the box.
No, they didn't. Watch.
Solve.
This is how fast it spun the Rubik's Cube to solve it. This is slowed down. But that is exactly how fast it took them to solve the Rubik's Cube.
That's nuts.
And if you look,
that's crazy.
Boom, that it was literally that was the camera slowed down to such a speed that they could show how fast it did it.
That's crazy.
I was like, holy cow. But yeah, I saw that one right there. It says a team of students from Purdue University built a robot that solved a Rubik's Cube in a record-breaking 0.103 seconds. I couldn't even spell blink. Yeah, it was crazy. When I saw that, I was like, I got to share that with Chad. That was awesome. That's how fast it happened.
How it didn't like rip the thing apart going that fast too, because that's a lot of forces to spin it that fast.
Yes, that is a lot of forces. Wow. I'm like, man, I couldn't even blink that fast, because the first time I saw it, I thought the same thing as you, that they basically just swapped it out. But no, they actually did it. It's so crazy. All right, I'm gonna end this here stream. I'm gonna send everybody to go see the wonderful Mo in the Deep End. Go watch her, and Baker, and Valhalla. They will be streaming the Karen Reed trial. And go enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys tonight, probably with a little more Laura Owens trial. I did not even get to the part where she was being cross-examined and the shenanigans that Gingras was doing. But everybody, have a wonderful day. We will see you very soon. Peace out.
I might be able to jump in for a little bit. I'm not streaming tonight because I got going.
Oh, cool.
Well, might be able to jump on for a few minutes.
I'll drop you an invite whenever I go back in. I'll of course have another glorious letter. So peace, y'all.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
And shine, coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Time to get